Okay, I can't be the only one that thinks that this new Smurfs movie is going to be a train wreck. I mean, look at the two trailers. They have been downright horrendous. The Smurfs have been such an enigma in recent times, trying to make a beloved franchise from the 80s and modernizing it to such hideous results. Now, I personally can't say anything about this franchise positively per se, since I didn't really grow up with the comics and cartoons, and have only been exposed to the movies that, let's just say, aren't really the strongest of films. Then again, looking at some clips from the OG cartoon, I don't think I would ever give this show a binge watch.
Very humorous, Papa Smurf. I always say that Papa Smurf is a very humorous Smurf indeed.
Not funny.
But hey, I'm not gonna deny the Smurfs' legacy here. I'm sure there are tons of fans that have loved this franchise for decades now. With their whimsical adventures, going against the evil Gargamel, these iconic blue creatures have been staples in the animation industry. So why the heck do they keep fumbling with their theatrical films then? The first two films back in 2011 and 2013 were a live-action hybrid of pure disgust, pretty much originating the idea of cartoon characters exiting their home area and entering the real world. Well, I mean, Who Framed Roger Rabbit started it, but the Smurfs were the ones who made it a tiring trope. The core essence of the Smurfs dealing with problems in their village and escaping from Gargamel have been stripped away from its charm, and transplanted them into an urban city where they just feel out of place and just trying to cram in so many pop cultural references that have nothing to do with the plot. Oh look, Guitar Hero everybody, that sure wasn't dated 3 years ago before this movie came out.
Pretty damn good, huh?
Full of cliches, the fish out of water trope they use for the Smurfs, heck, the overuse of the word Smurf, which we will definitely get to throughout this video. Honestly, these films feel more like a commercial interest to get the Smurfs back into the mainstream, instead of an actual genuine desire to create a quality adaptation of these lovable blue characters. But the inclusion of celebrity cameos, top 40 hit radio music, and tiring trends overshadowed what little story they wanted to share. Not to mention the weird CGI look they gave the Smurfs. Boy, they make the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth look like Timothée Chalamet over here. Now things did take a return to form concept with the Smurfs The Lost Village a few years later in 2017, being a fully animated film with attempts to revitalize the brand, but ultimately felt pretty mediocre with its storytelling and pretty basic animation. The movie is pretty much focused on Smurfette finding her true identity while also exploring the Forbidden Forest and seeking the inhabitants there. I do think it's nice to try to bring in a very one-note character like Smurfette from being a cute and seductive character to actually turning her into a fully fledged character with a story arc, but it does feel a little bit underdeveloped and overshadowed by simplistic jokes and repetitive humor. Most of the other characters here, with the usual favorites like Brainy or Clumsy Smurf, lack meaningful development across its runtime, and even the newer characters in the Forbidden Forest don't add much depth either, kind of feeling like one-off appearances for merchandise purposes. Oh, would you look at that? Overall, a good step in the right direction, but still missing that whimsy the Smurfs were known for. So, why does it feel like they're going the opposite direction for this new film? Why does this film feel like a step backward?
I think I just smurfed my pants.
Not funny.
One thing to note is the new animation they're using. I will give credit to the studio that they're trying something different, putting on their own spin on the styles that Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots made so popular. The line art is pretty good, really giving it its comic book source material here. They even nod to its comic theme with the exclamation points and thought bubbles. Too bad the actual animation looks unfinished. I'm sorry, but you're gonna tell me that this dance scene doesn't look a little jarring to you? The whole movements these Smurfs make are a little uncomfortable to watch. This scene in particular, with all these Smurfs making the same dance, it feels like they just copied and pasted to save time, which hey, they probably did to minimize work stress. But ooh, I'm gonna say a hot take here, but this trailer, or this dancing in particular, looks AI.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
I know, very bold to make that statement, but there's no way someone thought this was a good idea. And it doesn't help that the trailer pretty much forces the Smurfs to go into a live action setting again, and look more out of place than they did back in the actual live action movies. Speaking of which, why are we going back to the real world again? What purpose does the Smurfs have in going back to New York City or whatever else they're visiting? So the whole plot of this film is Gargamel and his new brother, Razamel, this Renaissance version of him, capture Papa Smurf, and the rest of the Smurfs go on an adventure to save him. Well, and I'm reading the synopsis of what Paramount wrote, discover what defines their destiny to save the universe.
Kinda cringe.
Okay, so already a pretty cliched and unoriginal story we got here. Again, this is just the teaser and first trailer we got here, and the premise can be engaging, but the execution just feels so lackluster. We don't know all the details yet, but you probably could have replaced all the live action segments into an actual fantasy-like world filled with deserts, or I don't know, if you wanted to keep the urban Paris style, just make an original animated city filled with different creatures. Oh wait, they do bring on a different species other than the Smurfs.
The Snooter Poots.
Snooter poots?
Hey! These little guys have already been proven to be minion-like characters with their designs and random noises.
What are they saying?
But hey, speaking of characters, we got a bunch to talk about. Obviously, we have mainstays like Papa Smurf and Gargamel, but then we have newer additions like this new brother of Gargamel being Razamel, who seems to be more medieval-like than his brother, who's got this peasant-like hair from the Renaissance times. We don't know why he's here per se, but the trailers show that he's going to be the main villain, probably more villainous than Gargamel. And speaking of brothers, we got Papa Smurf's brother, Ken, who resides in Paris. So what, his name is Ken Smurf then? Okay. There's also these neighborhood watch Smurfs who have female Smurfs on the team. So I guess anything from the Lost Village is non-canon now, as the supposed female Smurfs from that movie aren't the only ones around their universe, even though that movie states that they were all in that forest, but now you got them in Paris? There's also this random Smurf we don't know the name of yet, played by, James Corden? Seriously? Paramount, were you really scraping the bottom of the barrel here? He's like part of the holy trinity of bad celebrity voice actors. There's also this random turtle for some reason, probably another stale comedy relief character, but I don't think anyone has gotten the most backlash than this influencer Smurf. Jeez, are we really going this route?
Smash that subscribe button!
Do we really need a character that's supposed to appeal to a younger audience about the internet and social media? It's such a bizarre addition to make a totally new Smurf. Like, I don't think the sound effects Smurf has been around either, probably also a brand new character, but at least it doesn't make me cringe more than this abomination.
Watch out, ladies. Riz Patrol's out and about.
Apparently, with the massive backlash he's got online, the studio replaced him with a different character entirely, at least for promotional material. He could still be in the movie, but still, what a shoehorned attempt for Gen Alpha appeal. Well, not surprising, since the trailers also make this joke about Uber Eats and DoorDash.
Just make sure you tip the driver ahead of time, or they'll lick everything.
But of course, we gotta talk about Smurfette, our main protagonist. And, look, didn't we just have Smurfette to be the protagonist 2 times now? One in the live-action sequel, and then in the Lost Village, and again with this new movie? You do know you have like a bunch of Smurfs you can choose from to be your leading star, right? Hefty Smurf, Brainy Smurf, heck, there's that original character you guys made in Gutsy Smurf, you could have brought him back again. Why Smurfette for the 3rd time in a row? And let's not forget who's voicing the titular blue character. Past installments had a female superstar singer take on the role, with Katy Perry voicing the live-action version, and Demi Lovato voicing her in The Lost Village. I'm not too keen on Perry's performance, but Lovato did a fine enough job for her part. I mean, she was also a Disney star, so that checks out. But this time, we got global superstar Rihanna taking a crack at it.
We gotta rescue Papa!
Look, my guess is she's probably doing this for her children, because my goodness, is she phoning it in. I'm sure there's a ton of Rihanna fans who are eagerly excited about her involvement here, but I can tell she's not really trying at all.
Come on, we gotta rescue Papa!
There's barely any emotion, it's just an easy paycheck for her in my opinion. But hey, if she's also trying to promote the heck out of this movie too, showing her excitement and putting out new music along with it, then hey, who says I'm not happy to see her excitement? I actually like a lot of Riri's music, I'm excited to see what she puts out. No, this is not Rihanna at all. What is she doing?
Okay, that is incredibly annoying. Alright, anyway.
There's also a bunch of other nitpicks I don't care for here. The jokes are very predictable and dated. Like, this film could have been made a decade ago and would fit right in with other animated movies around that time. And the dialogue just sucks too. Like, the James Corden Smurf has the worst out of all of them.
We're here to save everything!
Wow, great writing, fellas.
Let's squish a Smurf till all you Smurfs are squashed!
Wow, amazing talent from the writers at Paramount.
Now that's what I call a banger.
Ooh, banger joke, hey guys. Also, I've noticed a ton of bad lip syncing from both trailers. It's actually embarrassing to watch. And it's not hard to find them, you can instantly see how off they are. Also, gosh, can we just stop with the overusage of the word Smurf? I get it, you like saying Smurf. You want to use it to replace swear words or potty humor or pretty much just about everything. But you can dial it back just a little bit, can't you?
You Smurfs don't know Smurf about Smurf.
I can smurf that Smurf up and have it delivered to your house.
That sounds like a load of Smurf.
Hey, stick a Smurf in it.
That's terrible. How dare you, you rude little trolls.
I am somewhat excited about this art style change they do for like 2 seconds with the 8-bit graphics look and the sketchbook drawn out style too, but at the very end, this is just a heaping pile of garbage. Look, there's still about 2 months until this thing releases, so it could be a surprising film that has a lot of potential, much like their previous film Transformers 1. But with a series of questionable creative choices, and widespread backlash and disappointment from fans and animation enjoyers alike, this could possibly be the worst animated movie of 2025 so far, at least for big studios. Whether it be the awkward animation, Rihanna's divisive voiceover, that stupid influencer Smurf, James Corden in general, I can't really say too many praises for this film. I'm sure families will still go see this. I mean, it's got Rihanna's name on it. It's still a pretty beloved IP for many. Only time will tell with how well this movie does, critically and successfully in the box office. But what do you think? Are you excited for this new Smurfs movie? Do you despise it like so many others? Do you want to throw influencer Smurf into a pit of blazing fire? Let me know in the comments. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. In the trailer, they list a different amount of Smurfs and the jobs and qualities that they have, like Grouchy Smurf and this Baker Smurf, but then they're like, oh, Smurfette's job is just being the coolest Smurf in the village. So she basically does nothing? Have you all learned nothing from the Lost Village?
So, what is a Smurfette? No one wanted that answer.
Nobody cares.